So while we might be here telling her to walk away, is she actually in a position to actually walk away? So we might be here judging and asking them why they are not leaving. It completely makes sense why they're not actually leaving. Another thing, are they getting the support they need from their families? Particularly from their moms and from their aunties, because their moms and their aunties may be the same ones telling them, you know what, is he hitting you? Hi lovelies, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, karibu sana. If you're a returning subscriber, karibu. And if you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do. All right, today I decided to look like a podcaster. Let me rotate the microphone so that I look like a podcaster. I think I need to get a stand anyhow. So today's video will be a continuation of another video I did a while back on polygamy. More specifically, I was talking about Samidoh, Edday, and Nyamu. Now today's video will be a little bit different considering the newer developments that finally, Edday finally walked away. Round of applause. Oh, snap. Now, I'm not one to advise a woman to walk away, but there are instances where it is the absolute necessary thing to do. Now, in this case, Edday had been publicly embarrassed, humiliated, put down by Nyamu and Samidoh. So it was just about time for her to leave. I had also mentioned something in the previous video that women a lot of the times choose to stay for their children. They choose to stay for their children majorly because they want to afford them that family unit where they are together. And I totally understand her. I totally understand that idea of giving your children, that family unit. However, at the same time, you might be impacting more trauma on the child rather than giving them the stability. And in this case, it was pretty clear that these kids were going to be traumatized by whatever was happening, because it was not just happening privately, it was also happening publicly. So anyway, so I was all for the idea that she finally needs to walk away. But here's the thing. You can tell a woman to walk away, but you're not in her shoes. You do not know whether she has the capacity to actually walk away. Like in this case for Edday, I do not know her, so here it's all based on assumptions. What is her level of education? Does she have a job? Does she have a business? And the same applies for most women. Telling a woman to walk away, yet you're not in her shoes, you do not know whether she has the capacity to actually walk away, is very difficult, because think about it. If a woman is a housewife and they choose to walk away from a marriage, they either have to, either get a job, start a business, and if they hadn't gone to school or gotten to a certain level of education, go back to school. So it requires planning. There's a term in psychology called wife walking away syndrome. And the argument of this particular term means that a woman walks away emotionally before she actually walks away physically. And it's understandable why a woman would actually walk away emotionally before she walks away physically. Because in walking away physically, number one, they do not know how the man is going to react. Will this man decide, fine, because you chose to walk away, because you chose to leave the marriage, now you're on your own. Now figure out how you're going to support the kids. That could be the case. We never know. And maybe she's not in a position to actually financially take care of those kids. So while we might be here telling her to walk away, is she actually in a position to actually walk away? And so wife walking away syndrome, the idea that a woman first leaves you emotionally before she leaves you physically, actually speaks to the other term I taught you last time, the feminization of poverty. The easiest way for a woman to get rich or wealthy is by marriage. And the easiest way for a woman to get poor is by marriage, particularly if you have children. And when I talk about poverty, in this case means either divorce or becoming a widow or abandonment, okay? And so while we were here telling Edday to walk away, and we were here telling other women to walk away, it's not that simple. They can't just wake up and walk away, unless, of course, obviously, the man is being physically abusive and there's urgency for her to leave. Then it's understandable that urgency is actually created for them to leave. But If it is other forms of abuse, or if it is other forms of, issues such as abandonment or what have you, or cheating or whatever it is, whatever the case is, it's not as simple as just a woman waking up and leaving. She needs to actually put herself in a position where she needs to be able to take care of her kids after, just in case of anything. And even if the man chooses to continue supporting the kids, or the woman in this case, the support might not be the same. So she needs to be able to bridge the gap that has now been created by the man no longer supporting 100%. So I totally understand why women may choose to stay a bit longer in marriages that are not working, in marriages that are harming them, are doing them more harm than good. So we might be here judging and asking women why they are not living. It completely makes sense why they are not actually living. Another thing, are they getting the support they need from their families? Particularly from their moms and from their aunties. Because their moms and their aunties may be the same ones telling them, you know what, is he hitting you? He's paying for you all the bills. You're lucky. Some women are not even, their bills are not being paid, but at least he's providing for you. But is a man just supposed to provide alone? He can be providing for you, providing financially, but he's abusing you in other ways. Maybe he's controlling you. Maybe he's narcissistic. It could be anything, really. And so for other generations, the older generations, to ask us such questions like, is he beating you up? He's paying all the bills. As we stayed through us, we are not you. We are not going to put up with what you put up with and end up transferring the same trauma that is on us onto our kids. We are breaking that cycle. We are breaking that. I know we talk about generational curses and what have you, but honestly, I don't believe in generational curses. I believe in generational patterns. And we need to break those patterns. Just because our mothers and our aunties and our grandmothers were put up with a lot of BS does not mean that we put up with the same BS. No. Because if we put up with it, it means that our kids also going to put up with the same BS. So again, back to the point. Did she get the support she needed from her family? And by support, I mean emotional support. By support, I mean financial support. Because you might be telling her to walk away, and maybe her parents have told her, if you leave that man, you know where you're going to live. Don't come here. If you leave that man, just know there is no room for you in this house. So when you may be telling her to walk away, does she have the support even from her family to actually walk away? These are the things that sometimes we don't think about. And then another thing is that some men have been known to actually trap their women by making sure they have as many kids as possible, to make it as difficult as possible for them to walk away. So how many kids does she have? What are their ages? Is she able to actually sustain those children? And that's why I normally tell you guys, for a woman, have as many children as you can take care of. It does not matter how good your husband is. Something can happen to him. He could die. He could become disabled. So have the amount of children, the number of children you can take care of. Worst case scenario, if you find yourself in a position like Edday's, are you in a position to take care of the number of children that you have? Whether it's 1, whether it's 2, whether it's 3. Because in as much as this man may still decide to support you, the support might not be what it used to be when you guys were together. So you have to bear the financial burden. Okay? So I'm so happy for Edday that she finally walked away. But in as much as I'm so happy for her that she finally walked away, I truly, genuinely understand why she stayed as long as she stayed. I truly, genuinely understand why it might have been difficult for her to walk away. We might be telling her to walk away, but we are not in her shoes. We do not know where her emotional state. Was she emotionally in a place where she could walk away? Because you see the thing with walking away, first and foremost, it's like what do you call them? People with addiction. You must first admit you have a problem. Had she admitted to herself that there's a problem here? When you're telling your friends to walk away or your siblings to walk away, have they actually recognized? Have they admitted that there's a problem? So the number one, is there that recognition and admission that there's actually a problem? Then number two, have they decided to leave? Because that is another step. Have they decided to leave? Then number three, are they ready to leave? Because it's not enough to decide to leave. Are you physically in a place where you can take care of yourself and your kids? Are you emotionally in a place where you can take care of yourself and your kids on your own? Are you financially in a place where you can take care of your kids? Do you have a job? Is it stable? You know, do you have some certification? Do you have an education? So are you ready to actually live? And if you're not, literally figure out what is it that you need to do and how long do you need to take for you to be able to walk away. How long does it take, for instance, to go back to school? How long will it take you to have a savings? How long will it take you to start a business? How long will it take you to get a job? And then after that, then you leave. And you know the funniest thing, or not even the funniest thing, the worst thing is, when a woman chooses to stay, we are on her case. Why are you leaving? Unapenda kuembarasiwa? You like suffering? Then when she leaves, why are you leaving? The women who've gone through us, you must be very weak. So a woman loses either way. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So you know what? Make the decision by yourself. Decide for yourself, is that the life you want to live? And because you're the only one living that life, and because your kids are the only ones living that life, make that decision for yourself, because nobody is in your shoes. We might be here telling you to stay, or we might be here telling you to leave, but it's your life, mama. It's your life. We are not in your shoes. We don't know where it pinches. We are not with you when you're crying at night. We are not with you when that man is torturing you. We are not with you when those kids are asking you, Mommy, why are you no longer happy? We are not with you when your kids are asking you, does daddy love us anymore? We are not with you when your kids are asking you, where is dad? Because they understand, but then you know kids are very bright. In as much as they may not fully comprehend what is going on, they know within themselves when energy shifts. They know when things are not okay. So when they may not completely comprehend, they know instinctively, they know that things are not okay. And it's only a matter of time before they start asking you the hard questions. Are you ready to answer those questions? Are you ready when your kid asks you, by the way, Mommy, why are we still here? Are you ready to answer those questions? Are you ready to answer the question when they ask you, Mommy, why did we leave? Are you ready to answer those questions? Another thing that you have to bear in mind is the mental. Even more than the physical, even more than the financial readiness, are you mentally in a place where you can walk away? If you are going through mental abuse, have you gone for counseling? Do you have a support system? Do you have somebody you can talk to? Because it gets lonely and it gets difficult, and it's only going to get even more worse when you walk away. For a moment of time, obviously. So you need to brace yourself for whatever is lying ahead. Of course, the peace of mind you're going to get is going to be unsurmountable. The peace of mind that you're going to get is going to be priceless. But guess what, Mama? It's going to get hard before it gets better. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Thank God for Edday. She's a public figure, so I'm sure she was getting endorsements, she was getting money. And thank God she has a friend who actually assisted her. But not everybody has that luxury. Not many women have that luxury. Not many women have that luxury. So, when a woman finally decides to walk away, and then she finally actually walks away, she has broken a cycle. She has broken a cycle of abuse a lot of the times. She has broken a cycle of abandonment. And you all know I'm a supporter of families. I'm a supporter of families being together. You all know that. I've actually said this on my channel over and over again. One of the easiest ways to build wealth is by actually creating a family that is stable, a family that is together. You know, having those family values. So you all know I support families. You all know I support kids growing up in a stable family. You all know I support having kids within the structure of family, not having outside babies and being a baby mama and a baby daddy. You all know that. I'm old school like that. That said, when it's not working, it's not working. And there's no point to lose your mind and lose yourself in the process of making something work that is completely broken. There's no point of losing yourself in trying to make something work that is not only broken, but that is also breaking you and breaking your children. And I'm so happy when I see how Edday is happy. So at peace. She's glowing. Her kids they're thriving. And I'm so happy for her. And I pray that any woman who's in a position like hers, number one, comes to that realization that things are not working. Number two, that she figures out a way, either through counseling or either talking to somebody, to mentally heal, Number three, I pray they get the strength to decide to walk away. Number four, I pray that they are able to put the plans that are necessary for them to finally walk away, whether it is finding a job, whether it is finding employment, whether it is starting a business, whether it is going back to school. And even more importantly, I pray that they get destiny helpers to actually help them get to that next point in life. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very lonely. You're going to question yourself. You're going to question God. Your kids will ask you questions that you may not have answers to. But guess what, Mama? God is with you. And I'm sending you lots and lots of love and lots of hugs. And yes, I know we want the best for our families and we want families that are together. But there are instances when, honestly speaking, it's not really worth it. It's really not worth it. Yeah? So, and it's gotten a bit somber today. But yeah, such is life. And when life happens, you roll with the punches, I guess. Yeah. So for any woman who finds herself in that position, I pray for strength. I pray for wisdom. I pray for peace. I pray for provision. I pray that God turns your life around. And if that man of yours finally gets to change, all the better for you. But in the meanwhile, if there's something I've learned in this life, everybody, and more especially a woman, should learn when to walk away. And should learn to show people that they can actually walk away and actually walk away. So may you have the confidence to walk away. May you have the confidence to walk into the unknown. And may you have the confidence to know that, God has got you. And I'm all for joint families. You all know that. I pray that God finally restores your family. But in the meanwhile, if walking away is what you need to do, absolutely walk away. There's no shame in it. And even if you feel shame, would you rather put up appearances for people that you're a happy family when you're suffering? This social media... So do the right thing. Do the right thing by you. Do the right thing by your kids. And until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of kisses and lots of hugs. You got this, Mama. You absolutely got this. And Edday, if you're watching this, I hope you are watching this. I wish you lots of love. I wish you even more courage. I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. And God will vindicate you. He definitely will vindicate you. Until next time, toodles.